Beloved, listen carefully, because this is not just another message. This is a divine interruption. Today is not ordinary. This Thursday carries weight in the spirit. These last 24 hours are not passing by accident. They are a window of decision, a window of obedience, a window of breakthrough. There are moments in life when time feels ordinary, but spiritually they carry deep urgency, and this is one of those moments. The call to act now is not about pressure, but about alignment with God's timing. When God places something in your heart, an idea, a step, a decision, it is not slouchy or emotional impulse. It is divine direction. Delaying that instruction may seem harmless, but over time delay can quietly turn into missed opportunity. Many people wait for the perfect moment, yet God often moves in the present, not in hesitation. The urgency you feel inside is not fear. It is a signal that something important is ready to be released, but it requires your response. Acting now means stepping forward even when you don't have all the answers. It means trusting that God has already gone ahead of you, preparing what you cannot yet see. Faith is proven in movement. When you act quickly on what God is telling you, you position yourself in the flow of His plan. But when you hold back, overthink, or let doubt take control, you step out of that flow. The opportunity doesn't always disappear, but the ease, the grace, and the timing may shift. Divine urgency is also a test of trust. It asks you, do you truly believe God knows what is best for you? If you do, then obedience should not be delayed. Often, the biggest breakthroughs are hidden behind simple actions. Making a call, starting something new, letting go of something toxic, or taking a bold step forward. These actions may seem small, but in God's plan, they carry great weight. You may feel unprepared, but readiness in the spiritual sense does not come from perfection. It comes from willingness. God does not wait for you to feel completely ready. He waits for you to respond. When you act now, you break the cycle of fear and hesitation. You show heaven that you trust God more than your doubts. And in that moment of obedience, things begin to shift. Doors start to open, clarity increases, and strength follows your step. This urgency is not meant to rush you into confusion, but to move you out of stagnation. It is an invitation to trust, to move, and to experience what God can do when you stop waiting and start acting. Being chosen by God is not about status, perfection, or outward success. It is about purpose. Many people misunderstand what it means to be chosen, thinking it belongs only to a special few. But in reality, being chosen is deeply personal. It means God has placed something unique inside you, a calling that only you can fulfill in the way you were designed to do it. Your experiences, your struggles, your strengths, and even your weaknesses all come together as part of that purpose. Nothing about your life is random when you are chosen. Everything carries meaning. You may not always feel chosen. There are moments of doubt, insecurity, and questioning your worth. But being chosen is not based on how you feel. It is based on God's decision. Long before you recognized it, there was already a plan over your life. The challenges you have faced were not meant to break you, but to shape you, to prepare you for what lies ahead. Every delay, every hardship, and every lesson has been building something within you that aligns with your purpose. Being chosen also comes with responsibility. It is not just about receiving blessings. It is about responding to the calling. There is a difference between knowing you are chosen and living like you are chosen. When you truly accept it, your mindset begins to change. You stop comparing yourself to others because you understand your path is different. You stop shrinking yourself to fit into spaces where you don't belong. Instead, you begin to walk with confidence, knowing there is something greater guiding your steps. However, purpose requires action. It is not enough to simply believe that you are chosen. You must be willing to move in that direction. Sometimes the calling will stretch you beyond your comfort zone. It may require you to step into unfamiliar territory, to take risks, or to leave behind what feels safe. But growth and purpose are never found in staying the same. You are chosen not because you have everything figured out, but because you are willing to trust the one who does. When you accept this truth, you begin to live differently. Your decisions carry more intention, your faith becomes stronger, and your life starts to reflect the purpose you were created for. Obedience is often misunderstood as something simple or routine, But in reality, it is one of the most powerful spiritual principles that can transform a person's life. Many people believe that prayer alone will bring results. Yet prayer is only one part of the process. What truly unlocks change is what happens after the prayer, the decision to act on what God has already spoken. When you obey, even in small things, you create movement in the spiritual realm that leads to real, visible breakthroughs. There are times when God gives clear direction, but fear, doubt, or overthinking causes hesitation. You may question whether you heard correctly or wonder if the timing is right. In those moments, obedience requires trust. It means stepping forward without needing complete certainty, believing that God will guide you as you move. Waiting for perfect clarity can become a trap because clarity often comes after the step, not before it. Obedience is what bridges the gap between where you are and where you are meant to be. Breakthroughs are rarely instant or random. They are often the result of consistent obedience over time. Each step you take builds momentum. Even when it feels like nothing is changing, something is happening beneath the surface. God uses your obedience to align circumstances, open doors, and position you for what you have been praying for. But if there is no action, there is nothing for God to work through. Faith without action remains incomplete. Obedience also challenges your comfort zone. It may require you to let go of things that feel familiar or safe. It may ask you to forgive when it's difficult, to move forward when you feel uncertain, or to trust when you don't understand. These moments are not meant to make life harder. They're designed to strengthen your faith and prepare you for greater responsibility. Every act of obedience builds spiritual maturity and deepens your connection with God. What makes obedience so powerful is that it shows trust beyond words. Anyone can say they believe, but obedience proves it. It demonstrates that you are willing to follow God's direction, even when it doesn't make sense. And in that willingness, something begins to shift. Opportunities appear, strength increases, and what once felt impossible starts to become reality. In the end, breakthroughs are not locked behind complicated formulas. They are often waiting behind simple acts of obedience. When you choose to act instead of hesitate, you step into a flow where progress becomes possible and transformation begins. There are certain days in life that seem ordinary on the surface, but carry the potential to become turning points. This idea that one day can change everything is not about luck or coincidence. It is about awareness and response. Every moment holds possibilities, but when you recognize the importance of the present and choose to act with intention, that moment can shape your future in powerful ways. What you do today, especially in a decisive and focused way, can create a ripple effect that influences everything that comes next. Often, people wait for big signs or dramatic changes before they believe something significant is happening. But transformation usually begins quietly, through simple decisions made in the right moment. A single choice, to step forward, to let go, to begin something new, can set a completely different direction for your life. The challenge is that these decisions don't always feel big at the time. They may seem small or even uncomfortable, but they carry hidden impact. What feels like a small step today can become a major breakthrough tomorrow. This is why recognizing the value of the present moment is so important. When you treat today like any other day, you risk missing the opportunity it holds. But when you approach it with purpose and awareness, you begin to see it differently. You become more intentional with your actions, your words, and your decisions. Instead of waiting for change, you become a part of creating it. You shift from a passive mindset to an active one, where you take responsibility for moving forward. There is also a sense of urgency in understanding that time does not pause. Opportunities come and go, and while some may return, others are unique to a specific moment. When you delay too long, you may find that the same opportunity no longer exists in the same way. That is why acting in the present matters so much. It allows you to align with what is available right now instead of regretting what could have been later. Believing that today can change everything also builds hope and motivation. It reminds you that no matter what has happened in the past, your future is not fixed. You are not stuck unless you choose to remain where you are. Change becomes possible the moment you decide to move in a different direction. This belief gives you the courage to take action even when you are unsure of the outcome. In the end, transformation is not always about waiting for a perfect moment. It is about recognizing that this moment can be the one. When you act with purpose today, you open the door for a new path, a new beginning, and a future that looks completely different from your past.